The headlines. Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manella says the Auditor General's audit report on the economic stimulus package is regrettable. CBSI reports political influence is one of the main challenges facing Solomon Islands state-owned enterprises. And the Office of the Auditor General reveals that some successful applicants of the ESP did not meet grant criteria. Hello, you're watching SIBC's TV News Bulletin. I'm Andrea Maahanwa. Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manella says the Auditor General's audit report on the economic stimulus package, ESP, is regrettable. Honorable Manella made the statement to local media upon his arrival into the country today from his international tour to Saudi Arabia.
First of all, I want to state publicly that the economic stimulus package was meant to keep the economy afloat during the global COVID pandemic, and to a certain extent, it did that. It's very unfortunate and regrettable that while the intention of the ESP was noble, from what is reported, its execution was poor. While I have yet to have the opportunity to read the report, I'm indeed shocked by what I'm hearing and the revelations in the report. At this juncture, let me applaud the Office of the Auditor General for discharging its constitutional duty, provided under Section 108 of the Constitution for auditing the Economic Stimulus Package Fund. This is your constitutional mandate, and you have delivered. I've just been informed that the Auditor General has submitted this report to the Speaker of Parliament for tabling in Parliament as provided for under the Constitution. The Constitution also provides that a copy must be furnished to the Minister of Finance and Treasury. I trust that these constitutional requirements have been satisfied by the Auditor General. The Office of the Auditor General is independent and is not subjected to the direction or control of any other person or authority as stated in the Constitution. As such, his duties have become functions officio upon representation of the report to the Speaker. However, there are other constitutional and statutory bodies who have the legal mandate to deal with some of the issues reportedly raised in the audit report. These authorities include the Royal Somaliland Police Force, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, the Leadership Code Commission, the Solomon Islands Independent Commission Against Corruption, and the Public Service Commission. These independent bodies, established and provided for by law, will play their part in determining how best they will address the serious allegations raised in the report. I strongly encourage these bodies to continue on from where the Auditor General has stopped. However, the decision to do so is for them alone to make. The due processes must be respected and completed so that those who are found guilty are held to account.
Prime Minister Manella also acknowledges opposition leader Honorable Matthew Wale for putting on notice the ESP audit report to Parliament for debate.
I understand that the Leader of Opposition has already put on notice a motion for Parliament to debate this report. I trust that this will be a constructive debate and that will assist in rectifying our weak laws, which I believe was reported as one of the existing weaknesses in our system. Let me assure you that the Government for National Unity and Transformation is fully committed in the fight against corruption. And we will support the various independent authorities listed above to undertake their responsibilities to ensure any wrongdoing reported are investigated, and if proven guilty, those responsible are brought to justice.
Government over the past week was heavily criticized over the Auditor General's audit report on the ESP. CBSI reports political influence is one of the main challenges facing Solomon Islands state-owned enterprises. Sharon Anau reports.
The Central Bank of Solomon Islands, CBSI, reports political influence is one of the main challenges facing Solomon Islands state-owned enterprises. CBSI Governor Dr. Luke Farrell told the Bills and Legislation Committee during their hearing into the State-Owned Enterprises Amendment Bill 2024 yesterday. He says balancing the role between political influence and operational independence is crucial to the SOE's overall impact on the country's economy.
Now, one of the key challenges that we have seen over the years is that SOEs, they face political influence. and this can shape SOE's performance and overall impact on the economy. I guess balancing between political influence with operational independence is crucial to ensure efficiency, effective use of resources, accountability and transparency. And this is also important to ensure that the market distortions are reduced. But after passing on the amendments, I noticed that there is some power sharing in the minister's role. Seems to be skewed to one minister. In other words, having one minister more powerful than the other, I guess, which in my view, this may not be, in terms of transparency and accountability, I think it needs to be relooked at it.
Dr. Foro adds, since the implementation of the SOEs Act in 2007, there has been a drastic improvement in the SOE's governance and accountability process.
The SOE Act 2027, to look back to it, is designed to establish a framework for the governance, management and accountability of SOEs in the country. Now, since the implementation of that particular act, we've seen a lot of improvement in SOEs, mostly in the following areas. We've seen improvement in terms of governance structure, and there has been marked improvement in terms of transparency, accountability, and of course efficiency in the management of some of the SOEs. We know also that there are some SOEs are still struggling to live up to there have been marked improvements in terms of financial performance of some of the SOEs. We've seen profitability being seen, revenue collection has increased.
Sharon Nanau, SIBC TV.
The Office of the Auditor General reveals that some successful applicants of the economic stimulus package did not meet grant criteria. Its recent audit report has found that a total of 16,000 grant applications were submitted between 2020 to 2021. Over 2,000 grant payments were made during this period, but only 200 applications were found by the Auditor's Office for review. Auditor General David Dennis explained to local media his office uncovered a lack of grant assessment documents and noted a major difference in the quality of applications.
What we also saw when we were reviewing the documentation is that there was a big difference between the quality of the applications that were received. Some submitted a comprehensive business case with data and graphs and detailing the history of the business, but others just submitted what is little more than a request to fund a business idea. So information provided in the application addressing the stated criteria did not seem to be a determinant of whether the funding would be provided or how much would be provided. There was no documentation available to indicate what was considered in assessing the application.
The Auditor's Office recommends that future grant assessments must be properly documented. Mr. Dennis said the ESP Oversight Committee has welcomed this recommendation.
The response from the Oversight Committee was that they welcomed this recommendation. They said this recommendation is very important. Under the policy, a standard set of criteria was used. The final decision for approval and disbursement, however, is subjected to budget allocation and fair distribution to all provinces and sectors.
The Commodities Export Marketing Authority, SEMA, is now fulfilling its aim of boosting economic activities in the country's rural area. Sharon Nanau with the details.
The Commodities Export Marketing Authority, SEMA, is now fulfilling its aim of boosting economic activities in the country's rural areas. Speaking to SIBC News Ministry of Commerce, Industry, Labour and Immigration, Permanent Secretary Riley Misipitu says since its revitalization, SEMA has increased the buying price of cocoa and copra in the country. Mr. Misipitu says the recent World Bank report on the country's economy identifies boosting of rural economies, supporting private sector and encouraging foreign investment are the main drivers for economic growth.
So SEMA revitalization program at the moment. Now, there were a mixture of reactions when SEMA came. But I can tell you right now, SEMA The government's policy is to provide services to the majority. Like when you may talk about Copra, Copra, the private sectors are doing that. But then we're going to just go by a normal of few areas where we're thinking that also making because they are profit oriented. But there are a number of coconut plantations around the Solomon Islands, and this is where SEMA hem come in. When SEMA hem come in, hem set him up price. So the price hem $3. Lo SEMA for buy per kilo copra, $3 per kilo for copra lo village. Now previously before SEMA hem come under this revitalization program, private sectors who are there, what buy copra lo $2, sample like over $1.80. And these poor farmers, they have the plantations. They know the come no more. These people buy them a very low price. Now SEMA hem put him a price lo $3. Everybody raised their prices to $3, which is really good. That's what the government like for looking low rural economy. So we are talking about the report hem recommending 3 major areas: boosting the rural economy, as well as supporting the private sector, then also encouraging more foreign investment. My ministry is looking forward to prioritizing boosting rural economy. That's why one area me fana look lo supporting SEMA.
Mr. Mesipitu adds challenges in the country's shipping service is slowing down SEMA's operation in the provinces.
A lot of bags SEMA buy this time, copra. Them stop no more. No any ship like for go because like it was also. But ship go for go load come no more. But there's supposed to be a demand where not only front loading and back loading are very important. So these are the areas maybe we have to have a look at, and the government can have a look at this area as well, because private sector cannot just send them ship blowing one way no more. They have to make money. That's why this whole recommendation of supporting private sector, the government has to have a innovative idea around where for you may support him to transportation services. But also including the transportation with the SEMA revitalization and the government initiatives, maybe we need to have a look at providing better transportation services. So maybe looking into some options on how to improve transportation services. So this is rural economy. The more we boost rural economy, 85% of our people who are living there, but the garib selling the pocket na then bago to no kamas kilo MP for school fee, they are now able to buy their school fee for the children.
Sharon Nanau, SIBC TV.
The new teacher's salary structure and classification is expected to be implemented next year. Yan Kaukui reports.
The new teacher's salary structure and classification would be implemented next year. Minister of Education and Human Resource Development Permanent Secretary Dr. Franco Rodi revealed during the World Teachers' Day celebration last week. He said Minister of Education Honorable Tosin Leokana, during his contribution to the speech from the throne, announced in Parliament that the new salary structure and classification system was approved by Cabinet last month.
Ladies and gentlemen, valuing teachers' wages is a key value in the implementation of the new education legislative framework driven by the Education Act 2023. The Minister of Education and Human Resource Development, Honorable Tosin Leokana, in his contribution debate on the speech from the throne, has mentioned or announced in Parliament last month, and I quote, "I'm pleased to inform the House and also the teachers of this nation that the new salary structure and the classification have been completed and tabled to Cabinet and was approved last month, end of quote. And let me update you on this. As I speak and starting this week, my ministry is in the process of devising a process in which we are going to implement the new structure as well as the classification. So as far as I'm concerned, we are on track in terms of when we are going to implement the classification as well as the new structure or salary structure next year.
Dr. Rodi adds the Government of National Unity and Transformation support the new legislative framework driven by the Education Act 2023.
This, I believe, the Government of National Unity and Transformation is committed and responding to this international theme of valuing the teachers' voices, particularly for teachers in our country. This is a long desire of teachers to be accorded a proper pay structure, recognizing the professional skills teachers need to properly provide quality education to our teachers. And for me, and probably I will sensitize this, I've stayed long enough in the ministry to ensure that this new classification and pay structure and the Education Act happen. So on the other part of the international theme of this year's World Teachers' Day celebration, it calls for interconnectedness. Teach us how we can better understand students we interact with every day in order to address the real knowledge gap and help them move forward in the right direction. Only together we can implement the changes we imagine.
Yan Kaukui, SIBC TV.
Better coordination is needed between government-line ministries for the private sector to flourish. Sharon Anau reports.
Better coordination is needed between government-line ministries for the private sector to flourish. Speaking to SIBC News, Ministry of Commerce, Industry, Labour and Immigration, Permanent Secretary Riley Misipitu says government ministries should acknowledge each other's work. He says the productive sector needs to work together to create an environment in which the private sector can grow.
The Ministry of Commerce is one of the ministries that should work very closely at supporting and creating an environment. That's the vision of the ministry. So we want to create an environment where private sectors play their part, contributing, participating in business activities, entrepreneurship activities. But these private sectors, they are facing with a lot of challenges, which me already tell them. So what now government by doing? One thing me note him now, we always talk about better coordination. So I believe that one is still to be addressed, even amongst the government ministries and agencies alone. We are still doing something that maybe what my ministry is doing, the other ministry, him no acknowledge him, and him continue for doing one and him like for doing two. And this one him also seen in the other sectors. And the private sector, of course, sometimes they are just driving by themselves. But the government agencies, especially for the productive sector ministries, we will really need to really look and work together so that we can create that environment where the private sectors can actually participate actively.
Mr. Mesipitu adds, with the need for better coordination between government-aligned ministries, things are now slowly changing.
But I'm not saying that there is no coordination. I'm saying that it's still an issue, but like currently as we speak, I'm seeing some changes in terms of coordination. Example, me federal government as a PS Block Commerce, me very happy to much this time because my ministry and the Ministry of Agriculture, for example, me like for also talk thank you lo colleague PS Blooming Agriculture that we are seeing things together. Like previously, agriculture and commerce, at some point we are doing the same thing. Now we are starting to see separating ourselves in terms of what na function and mandate blomi. So in terms of agriculture, for example, agriculture him look him now. That him supposed for work lo farm level there. For actually what are the strategies, what are the things that they need to do to encourage, to strengthen our farmers. How to planting copra, cocoa, and all the other commodities in the agricultural sector, helping farmers, assisting all the farmers here, the supply chain, with the value chain, the quality of products when they come into downstream processing, value-added activities. Then you must look at the market. But this is where coordination in play. Eh? But if everyone like to do the same thing, everything, and then we actually spending a lot of resources by duplicating.
Sharon Nanau, SIBC TV.
A 4-day workshop on strengthening marine pollution incident resilience in the Pacific commenced in Honiara on Tuesday. Yan Kaukui reports.
A 4-day workshop on strengthening marine pollution incident resilience in the Pacific commences in Honiara on Tuesday. The workshop brings together key stakeholders to foster collaboration and strengthen national and regional environmental response mechanisms to marine pollution incidents. Opening the workshop, Supervising Minister for Environment, Honorable Rexon Ramofafia, explains that the workshop supports the translation of government policies.
At the national level, the legislative basis of this workshop is anchored in several laws, including the Environmental Act 1998, Shipping Act 1998, National Disaster Council Act 1989, and Solomon Island Maritime Authority Act 2018, in addition to other relevant regional and international agreements, including the 8th International Convention and the protocol recently acceded to and connected with maritime pollution. This workshop also supports the translation and the implementation of Government of National Unity and Transformation Policy 8.3 and 4, the Solomon Island Ocean Policy, and the Ocean 12 Tulagi Declaration.
Meanwhile, British High Commissioner to Solomon Islands, His Excellency Tom Coward, says the United Kingdom is pleased to support the program.
People know and have seen the huge damage on fragile environments, the damage on communities, the high cost of the economy. And for MV Solomon Trader, we're still working on that. We're still pushing through today the damage. So it's a global issue and it's a local issue of paramount importance. So I'm delighted that the UK is able to support this workshop today. I'm absolutely delighted that we are able to support Solomon Island and regional efforts on maritime pollution response. Today, as we gather together to discuss how to respond to incidents and explore innovative ways we can prevent them, we look to prevent and mitigate any such disasters.
Discussions aim to increase awareness on risk of pollution linked to marine activities in the region through the sharing of global best practice, guidance and knowledge. Senior research scientist at the United Kingdom Centre for Environment, Fisheries and Aquaculture Science, Dr. Freya Goodse, explains they hope to bridge gaps and improve marine pollution incident preparedness.
What we want to do is we want to aim to kind of bridge gaps, really. So we're not out here to try and reinvent wheels or anything like that, or kind of duplicate any efforts. We're working with regional bodies such as SPREP to kind of fill some critical gaps in areas of that need, really, in terms of building capacity, awareness, education and knowledge, and trying to bring a range of experts together. There's a lot of experts in the country and in the region as well. Just bringing them together and providing that platform for them to share knowledge, best practice guidelines, and understanding and coming together as a community in terms of being able to build preparedness and resilience for their countries.
Meanwhile, Park Plan Officer for the Secretariat of Pacific Regional Environment Program, Paul Eving, emphasizes the importance of ensuring a smooth recovery from marine pollution incidents.
What SPREP is here for is to try and get to something called recovery, which we are calling healing. And so it's about the country being able to heal and get the environment back, get the money from the response back, and be able to make sure that the community, because the impacts that affect from oil spills are not just on fish and corals and mangroves, they're often on the community, on people and culture and economy. We would like to make sure that the country, each country, is able to get back to the same state or better than it was before the incident occurred.
Participants of the workshop include representatives from national authorities and delegates from regional countries, including Australia and the United States. SIBC News understands the workshop is funded by the Ocean Country Partnership Program in collaboration with the Secretariat of the Pacific Regional Environment Program. Yan Kaukui, SIBC TV.
Preparations for the Bonfire Festival is on track with the arrival of Papua New Guinea's Tonton Manella and supporting artists in the country. Elisa Kukutu reports.
Preparations for the Bonfire Festival is on track with the arrival of Papua New Guinea's Tonton Manella and supporting artists to the country yesterday. The annual celebration of music and culture will see top artists from Solomon Islands, Papua New Guinea and Vanuatu perform at the Heritage Park Hotel car park this weekend. Speaking to SIBC News, organizer Jeremy Saini said they are looking forward for the event.
So we have Tonton Malele, Jerex, Nene from PNG, Arab Finis, Imigaram Saza, Sister Saza from Vanuatu, and then a DJ. And then every Nara Solomon artist with me, what I want stand by finish. So yeah, rehearsals already been done. This time I'm running a few songs for Tonton and looking forward for this Saturday. Mival Bara expecting for welcome Mival Bonfire. So what you expect? But me tell him, come and see it for yourself. Thank you too much to every sponsors, especially to our main sponsor, which is our telecom, and then to SIBB, and then Solomon Islands, plus him every other sponsors. And not a big one for you, Falokota Media, for always being there for us, pushing our content and supporting Mifala every artist also.
Tonton Malele and Vanuatu's Shaza are making their first performance outside of their home country at this Bonfire Festival. Both artists are looking forward to learning and enjoying the new experience.
I've obviously toured with Jaro before. I've seen how it works. I've seen how hardworking he is as an artist. I've always looked up to him and follow him, how he works and stuff like that. So for him to keep an eye out on us boys, working on the album back home, and for him to basically want us to headline was a big honor. We're sharing the stage with some of the best musicians, so we've come here to learn, and for me it's an honor.
I would say the same for Tonton. This is my first time doing a show outside of Vanuatu, and it's as a single artist, a female artist from Vanuatu. I am very, very honored as well to be sharing the stage with, I would say, legends, but I know these people are not going to give that title to themselves. But yes, I am very honored to be sharing the stage with these people, these really talented artists. Not only for this show, but Law Connection and network outside of the stage, because I think that would go a long way, and it's very important for me to build my relationship with my brother, my sister, and
For SIBC TV, I'm Elisa Kukutu.
Says she is committed to providing homes for stray dogs in the country. Mary Manella with the details.
The owner and founder of Paw Patrol Solis, Debs Maki, says she is committed to providing homes for stray dogs in the country. Paw Patrol Solis is a charity that has been collecting stray dogs in and around Honiara since 2021. In an interview with SIBC News, Ms. Maki says she tries to look after and treat stray dogs that she sees along the streets.
And so every day I go around collecting up pups, and I get them healthy and rehome them. Any dogs that are really sick with mange, I treat them, and I try and keep them in pods so they're easier for me to get around so that I can do their monthly treatments every month. So I've rehomed over 100 puppies, but also helped many other dogs just become healthier, and trying to educate the community as well about if a dog's well fed, then a dog behaves so much better. And then what I was trying to do on top of that, I guess, was trying to get the desexing program going so that we could reduce the numbers on the street. So that's when I started reaching out to other charities to see if anybody was interested in coming to the Solomon Islands, and a lot of charities just absolutely refused blank point. They wouldn't come for many reasons, because at that point the Honiara City Council didn't support a program. And because I think in their weird way of not doing some proper due diligence, they thought it was unsafe for them to be on the ground here. And that's really sad because this place is the happy isles, in my view.
She encourages the public to bring forward their dogs once they advertise the desexing program to control the number of stray dogs in the city.
When we advertise our desexing program, get on the list and get your dogs or your compound dogs desexed so that we just stop the puppy flow. And then we have happier dogs on the street, and we have less of them on the street because we'll have more homes for them and less puppies being born. You know, think of a dog in a different way than what they do now. You know, dogs can be a beautiful addition to a family. So treat a dog well and it will treat you so well. Give a dog food and you're their best friend. Like, that's so easy to please. So if you can please give them fresh water where you can. And I know everybody's struggling to feed their own families, but if you have leftovers, leave them out for the dogs.
Mary Manella, SIBC TV.
And that's news. Follow us on sibconline.com.sb and our SIBC News Facebook page for more of our latest stories. Thanks for watching.